Welcome once again, guys, to Chris's Caribbean Delights. And we're going to be going straight to the Caribbean now, and we're going to do some jerk meatballs. Jerk meatballs. Yeah, so you jerk chicken, you jerk fish, why not meatballs? So let's go to those ingredients, and we'll have some jerk meatballs going. So here, let's pan over here, and we have here, I have here a pound of beef, ground beef, and a pound of ground pork. I'm going to do the mixture, and you get it's going to be moist, and you'll get that wonderful flavor. We have 2 eggs here. We have some breadcrumbs. We have some jerk seasoning, some the wet jerk paste. Here I have a tablespoon of olive oil, and I have some coconut milk. You can use a regular milk if you have that. Some lime juice, and we're gonna enhance it with some accent. We're gonna use a little bit of accent, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon, and enhance it because the 2 flavors of the meats need to marry. So, and some complete seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder. You can put whatever seasoning you want in there. Now for the fresh ingredients. For my fresh ingredients, I have here some bell peppers, red and some orange bell peppers, onions, some cilantro, and some scallion, and crushed garlic. So those are the fresh ingredients. But first, I'm going to come to my pan here, and we're going to saute the bell peppers so that they can be nice and get them soft. You can put them all in here into the meat, and when you put it in the oven, it's going to cook. But I still like that flavor to go through when you with the caramelized onions and everything, just because it's going to be seasoned and well seasoned and cooked already. So let's get our veggies. Sautéed. I spray about a tablespoon of canola oil in here. And we'll just get the bell peppers in here, the orange bell peppers, and the onions, some of the garlic. So here we go, guys, sauteing our veggies. The onions just need about 2 minutes of cooking here. Whilst that's happening, some complete seasoning. While that's cooking for another 30 seconds or so, we can go ahead and season our meat. Okay, the first thing I put in there, I put the olive oil in. Let's put the olive oil in here. The lemon juice. Sorry about that. The breadcrumbs. Put your eggs in there. 4 tablespoons of coconut milk. And the jerk seasoning here. Depending on how spicy you want it, I just did 1 tablespoon of jerk seasoning. But you got to be careful with that because it's kind of, when it cooks, it gets pretty hot. It gets hotter. So. And then your dipping sauce is going to have some jerk seasoning in there also. And then I'm going to add some accent. Just about a quarter teaspoon of accent in there. Okay, this is good. Our veggies are nice and wilted and everything else. They're not too soft. We'll shut that down. We'll move this off, take this off the fire and let it cool down for a little bit. I'll put it in another container so it will cool quickly. Just let this cool down. I love those beautiful colors, don't you? We're gonna just let that cool down for a bit before we put it in. You don't want to put it too, right off the fire into the meat. You don't want to transfer that heat in there right now. And our other fresh ingredients, our cilantro and scallion, we just dump that in there. And I'm going to go in there with my hands once the veggies are cool. We'll go in with our hands and we'll give that a good mix. So here we are. We're going to put our veggies in. The bell peppers, the onions, and the red bell peppers, the orange bell peppers, and the onions. I'm going to go in here with our hands and give it a nice, good massage, okay? We have all the other ingredients in there, the eggs, the milk, the lime juice, also the breadcrumbs. And if you think it needs a little more breadcrumbs, if it thinks it's feeling too loose, because it has to come together, hold together. And if it's too loose, you just add some more breadcrumbs to your mixture. And I think I do need some more breadcrumbs, so I'll get some breadcrumbs and that's about a quarter cup. Feels a lot better. Okay, and we'll just let this sit here for about 15 or 20 minutes so that everything can marry and that the flavors can marry together and it can just get into the meat. Okay, now we're going to form our meatballs. I'm going to preheat the oven to 375. Once that gets to 375 and we put them in, we're going to cook them for 20 minutes or so, and then we'll crank it up to 425, and just to get it a nice color and brown it off, just to get it give it a little personality. Now, so whilst I'm making the balls, we're going to preheat the oven. So let's do that. And I'm going to use a cookie scoop to make the meatballs. I have a tray lined with some aluminum foil on the rack. So we're going to place the meatballs on the rack, and so if there's any dripping, it's going to drip onto the foil. The regular, just less cleanup. Okay, so let's start making our meatballs. And the cookie scoop, so that I can get almost the same size for every meatball. I don't, it looks better if they're almost the same size. and I like them a little large. So I just wrung them off in my hand, and the rest of them maybe about an inch away, inch apart. You don't have to use a cookie scoop. You can use your hand. Just make sure you have some olive oil or something like, you know, an olive oil or canola oil in your hand so that it wouldn't stick to your hand when you're scooping it up. And you roll it, just make it that nice little ball so that it doesn't have any cracks or anything, you know. But so that's the way I do the balls. So let me do one more. Scoop it up, get it in the center of your hand, and place it on the rack. Okay, wouldn't bore you with all the rest because you know, there's quite a few to go. So oven is being heated. Preheat your oven to 375. All right, 375, and we'll be back. So now that the meatballs are all formed, we put them in the oven at 375 and bake them for about 20 to 25 minutes, and then we'll crank the oven up to 425. Just raise the heat to 425 so that it can get some color. So let's place them in the oven. Okay, I'll see you in 20 minutes. So, while the meatballs are in the oven and they're taking their time and baking nicely, getting their color, we're gonna make the sauce, the dipping sauce. And first, I'll just have a half a cup of ketchup, regular ketchup. All right. Then I have another half a cup of any barbecue sauce that you like. Any barbecue sauce that you like. The jerk marinade. This gives it that jerk flavor, and it's kind of spicy also. So I just use like a quarter cup of jerk marinade. To give it a tangy, nice flavor, apple cider vinegar, about 2 teaspoons, or maybe 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon. Now, gotta have some lemon juice in there to freshen everything up. That's half a lemon. I think I need the other half. Half a lemon. And we just whisk everything together. If I can find a whisk. There we go. Whisk everything together. Now, I need to thin it out a little. So, if you have, so use some water. If you don't have chicken broth, just use some water to thin it out. This is like a half a cup of water. Obviously, you're going to taste to make sure that the flavors are there. Yeah. So here we have, and this is all it needs. You don't even have to. And if you still think you need it a little thinner than that, just add a little more water. Of the oven, we'll just put them in a pan. We'll put our sauce in a pan and let it heat up. Let it heat for a while. So here we are, guys. This is the finished product. Our wonderful jerk meatballs. And now I'm going to douse them with the sauce. With the sauce and the dipping sauce. You can either sprinkle some of this dipping sauce on them so that it can soak right in there and have a wonderful flavor. And then you can serve some on the side. This looks wonderful. So thank you for watching, guys, and bon appetit. See you in the next clip.